Okay, so Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been exposed hugely in the Epstein files. He was interviewed a couple months ago on camera, literally saying that he met Epstein once, was given a tour of his home, and him and his wife were so disgusted that they never wanted to talk to him again. Never wanted to be in the same room as him again. Well, we get this new batch of Epstein files, and the motherfucker, not only was he friends with Epstein, him and his wife were sending emails to Epstein about trying to visit his island multiple times. And then in the emails, his wife is literally talking about the ages of their children and the other family that they brought to this convicted sex offenders island, which is so crazy. Like, to bring your kids, your 4 kids, and then the other family had 4 kids too, and they're listing the ages, and they're like 17 to 14. It's disgusting. And there are girls, like some of their, like, you brought your daughters to the sex, the, the international sex trafficking pedophile of children, sex trafficker of children. You brought him, you brought your daughters, you brought them to his island where they can't even run away if they like, bruh, like, what, are you insane? What kind of parent? I was gonna say what kind of mother, but like, what kind of parent? Like, there's no if like, there's no excuse for that. What the fuck are you talking about? If you talk about how you were so grossed out by him in like 2005, bitch, shut the fuck up. What? So now a bunch of people are calling on him to step down, which obviously he should. If this is a normal functioning country, he already would have been asked to step down a long fucking time ago. Like, what the fuck? Lord Mandelson had to fucking step down. There's been multiple other people from other countries. Even Larry Summers had to step back from fucking like whatever the fuck he was doing, teaching. Creep. He literally was a creep though. Like, the way he was talking about, like, there were a lot of emails that were uh, released that show him being like really creepy and like asking Jeffrey Epstein like wingman advice. It was very gross to like creep on his mentee, like somebody who was mentoring, which is just like ew. And he even acknowledges the abuse of power in the email. Gross. And he was in a ton of fucking like conversations with Ahud Barak as well, and like, it's crazy. And Kathy Rumler has been exposed hugely as well. Like, I don't know if she's been asked to step down. Stacey Plaskett got fucking exposed, and like Jamie Raskin and Hakeem Jeffries defended her, which was like disgusting. Like, what? All right, so this is an article from The Guardian. Okay, before I even get into the fucking, let's step back a second. All these calls for people to step down, every step down. Where is the impeachment for the president that has been exposed for the worst things? Howard Lutnick was exposed for going to the island with his kids. And his wife. Forgive me if I'm like assuming the bet, like hoping maybe this is just a hope that he wouldn't be raping underage girls while his 4 children, wife, and another family and 4 children were also on that rather small island. Like, he's probably wasn't, but like the connections and the fact that you were okay with it and all this, it like, that's enough for you to be like, you're compromised. Also, if you did spend more time with him away from your family, like, there's a high possibility that you were raping little girls or like having sex with sex trafficked young women, which is still legal, even if people are not underage. You can still be sex trafficked, which is still highly illegal. The fucking president needs to be impeached. What are we doing here? He has been like accused, even in sworn testimony, of raping young girls. Sworn testimony of him raping a 13-year-old or 12-year-old. I what the what are we He's been implicated the most. Why the fuck aren't Republicans calling on him to step down? Resign, motherfucker. You impeached Bill Clinton for a blowjob. which he should have done. But like at the same time, like where's the standard? What is the standard here? Like Democrats have to be angels on earth, and Republicans can literally be Satan's spawn. That's the standard. Republican calls on Trump ally Howard Lutnick to quit cabinet over Epstein files. Congressman Thomas Massie says Commerce Secretary has a lot to answer for over ties to late convicted sex offender. U.S. House member Thomas Massie has called for the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick to Lutnick. I'm just going to call him Lutnick, okay? A fellow Republican to resign over his ties to late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Massie, who co-authored a law mandating the release of the so-called Epstein files, appeared Sunday on CNN's Inside Politics and said that Lutnick, a staunch Donald Trump ally, has a lot to answer for. I'd say, like, if you were comfortable enough, like, just, like, emailing him, like, hey, we're coming over to the island, like, like, clearly you had a relationship with this man, and you lived next to him, so it's not like you needed to email all the time. Ew. Really, he should make his life easier on the president, frankly, and just resign, Massie said. So the president should just resign. What the fuck? Alluding to how the Epstein scandal has roiled UK politics, including by costing Andrew Mountbatten Windsor his title as a prince and Peter Mandelson his U.S. ambassadorship. So, like, the Commerce Secretary, like, they literally took away his title as a prince. He has royal blood, son of Queen Elizabeth, stripped of his titles. And you can't even get rid of your Commerce Secretary? If this were Great Britain, he'd already be gone. Yeah, if this were, like, pretty much any other country, I'm pretty sure there have only been, like, a few Canadians exposing the Epstein files, mainly Peter Nygaard, but we already locked that motherfucker up. And I don't remember, but, like, like, there's no politicians or, like, well, we don't have a lot of rich people. But even if there were, like, fuck Galen Weston. Like, I don't. Anyways, asked for comment, a statement from Netflix's Commerce Department said, in part, this is nothing more than a failing attempt by the legacy media to distract from the administration's accomplishments. No. It's not a distraction, motherfucker. You were exposed in the Epstein files. You went to the island. Massie's call for Lutnick's resignation came a little more than a week after the U.S. Justice Department released about 3 million of its investigative files on Epstein in connection with the transparency law that the Kentucky congressman helped pass. Yeah, and it's only, like, there's still, like, 3 million more files. Like, it's so crazy. And we've gotten so much terrible stuff. We've gotten some people have been exposed, and so much of it is redacted, and we still have another 3 million files. Only 50% has been released so far. The disclosure revealed that the Commerce Secretary discussed visiting Epstein's island in 2012, 4 years after the disgraced financier was sentenced to 13 months in jail for procuring a minor for prostitution. You knew. You lived next to the motherfucker. He had literally, like, Megan's Law, bitch. Like, you knew. Like, you knew. It's crazy. The Epstein and Lutnick related emails show correspondence about travel arrangements and political fundraising, among other things. Lutnick and Epstein were neighbors on a particularly tony stretch of Manhattan's Upper East Side neighborhood. And I've heard that, like, that neighborhood is, like, full of elites. Like, it's like a playground. Like, it's just where all of them live. I heard somebody talking about it the other day, talking about how, like, just walking down the street, like, oh yeah, that person lives there, that person lives there, that person lives there, that's the UN, like, this is that. Like, it's easy to imagine all of them just, like, Scooby-Dooing themselves back and forth. Like, it's crazy. Epstein's longtime assistant messaged Lutnick. Longtime assistant? Subpoena that bitch. Who is his longtime assistant? Not like on the 20th of November 2012 that Jeffrey Epstein understands you will be down in St. Thomas some over the holidays, referring to a Caribbean island. The assistant continued, Jeffrey requested I please pass along some phone numbers to you so the two of you can possibly get together. Like, you didn't have a relationship with this man. You don't just send that out of nowhere. Like, that's not like on the 19th of December 2012, right before Christmas break. Emailed Jeff saying he and several others, including his wife and children, as well as several friends and their kids. His wife and children, as well as several friends and their kids, were traveling to the Caribbean on Lutnick's boat. Ew, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Blocky doll. Anyways. Blocky girls. Anyways, we are standing in St. Thomas. We are landing in St. Thomas early Sunday afternoon and planning to head over to St. Park, Anguilla. I'm not rich. On Monday at some point, Lutnick said. Where are you located? What is the exact location for my cap? Jesus Christ. Give me your coordinates. Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? Ugh. Sunday evening to dinner. The Lord's Day. You want to spend the Lord's dinner with Satan. My God. An individual whose name is redacted responded below from Jeffrey. Come Saturday or Sunday. Why is their name redacted? Come Saturday or Sunday lunch. Little St. James is on the map behind Christmas Cove. The files do not indicate that Lutnick ever visited Little St. James, Epstein's private island where it is known children were sexually abused. Well, nonetheless, Massie on Sunday said, look, Howard Lutnick clearly went to the island, and if we believe what's in these files. I do. The fuck? And this was many years after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted, lightly sentenced, but convicted for sexual crimes. Sexual crimes against minors. Procuring minors for the purpose of prostitution. Traveling across state and border lines for the sole purpose of sexually exploiting those young girls. That is called sex trafficking. Lutnick also appears to have invited Epstein to a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton's 2016. These people have no more, they have no conviction. They go back and forth to whatever the fuck, whoever will help them the most at the time. It's crazy. Have a value. Lutnick also appears to have invited Epstein to a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential run. He probably was already invited. Epstein was, Ghislaine Maxwell was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Ghislaine Maxwell and Hillary Clinton were good friends. It was not just Bill and Jeffrey. That family is crazy. Weird. Weird. Such an insane family. You would think after, being impeached for what you were impeached for, you would just, disappear into private life. No. Those people are they're more in the public eye than the Obamas have been in 10 years. Clinton's 2016 presidential run, which ended in defeat to Trump. Wonder why. I would like to invite you to attend a very intimate fundraising event for Hillary Clinton. Lutnick wrote on the 3rd of November 2015 in an email to one of Epstein's employees. Who are all these employees? Who are all these assistants? This is not, I'm so tired of the fact that the only people ever charged were Jeffrey Epstein until he was murdered in jail, and then Ghislaine Maxwell, who's sitting in Club Fed in this fluffy fucking prison with her fucking puppy, and, the warden is tired of waiting on her hand and foot, he said. What are we doing? We have things like RICO charges for a reason. This does not happen without a vast network of people. Not only that he was sex trafficking girls to up here, but there's a ton of people under him that knew what the fuck was going on. They saw the young girls and they didn't do anything. They did not do anything. And everything that we've seen exposed, these people were not hiding in like private. They were not doing things behind closed doors. We've seen them do sexual acts in front of people. We've heard testimony from the victims that Virginia Giuffre said that she would be filleting Jeffrey Epstein, and people would walk in and they would act as though nothing was happening. Like, this is not a one-man operation with the help of his friend Glenn. This is a fucking system of abuse that took, it's an entire operation. Like, there is no other way to describe it. This corporation of abuse that was just traumatizing and raping little girls. Not only that, they were forcing these little girls to bring their friends, turning into like a pedophile pyramid scheme, like multi-level marketing scheme for molestation. It's disgusting. Not like who supported Trump in the 2016 and 2020 presidential elections also sought Epstein's counsel when a nearby museum, the Frick Collection, planned a renovation. Are you aware as to them building to block our park views? So much culture and creativity has been stagnated by rich people not wanting to give up the benefits of their accommodations. Like, oh my God. What should we do about it? Fuck, oh my God. Time is of the essence, not like wrote to Epstein, a former friend of Trump and the Clintons. Oh my God. A museum. This museum cannot renovate because we will lose our view of the park. Kill yourself. In a statement, the Commerce Department said that Mr. and Mrs. Lutnick met Jeffrey Epstein in 2005 and had very limited interactions with him over the next 14 years. Bullshit. Lutnick's downplaying of their correspondence, which the New York Times notes did not indicate a close friendship and was often carried out through intermediaries. Hey, they lived next to each other. All he had to do was say, knock on the fucking wall. Be like, come on over. Like, what? What are you talking about? Their backyards were up against each other. They went to the fucking island. Like, these are not emails of people who are just casual acquaintances who would say wave on the way in. Like, no, these people were friends. It's very clear. It is not quelled lawmakers' bipartisan calls that he faces consequences. Well, everybody should. Fucking Hillary, fucking Donald Trump, Howard Lutnick, Bill Gates, all those motherfuckers that are in the fucking files. Like Larry Summers, ew. Everybody. Subpoena Richard Branson, subpoena all them weirdos. Redact the actual files, redact the files, release the files. What the fuck is going on? Lutnick must resign or be fired, the U.S. House member Robert Garcia, a California Democrat, said in an X post on Sunday, and he must answer our questions. Well, not only that, fucking Kash Patel lied hugely to Congress. Every single time he answered a question was pretty much a lie. He said there was no co-conspirators. He said it was clear that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. We've seen proof of the opposite of both of those things. Those are like the two biggest parts of this case. He lied about it under oath to Congress. Not only that, there was a ton of things that he lied about. He lied through his fucking teeth. I'm surprised they didn't knock them out on the way out. Like, it's insane. My God. All right, everybody. Be back later with more. This is fucking insane. Like, Jesus.